Starting. Bam! All right, everybody. We got no viewers yet, so give it a few minutes for somebody to check on. Let me send the link out.
Yeah, I'll retweet it. Ortiz.
Make sure this is the right link here. That looks right. Link. Control. What the heck? Oh.
We're having some technical difficulties here, people.
What happens when I get old? Let's see.
Are you having some boomer problems?
Let's try it this way.
This is Shane.
All right, we are streaming live. I'm talking. This is welcome to Indie Dave's Indie Hour. We're talking to Wenger today. Do you prefer Wenger, or do you have like another name you go by?
Yeah, Wenger's fine with me.
Okay. I'll try to get this link out to everybody.
Yeah.
Peter doesn't want to cooperate with me.
Yeah, I'm the creator of the fantasy comedy comic book Dragoon Not All Drake. And you can read it for free online at alldrake.com. That's ALDRAKE.
All right.
It's basically like a Conan the Barbarian, but a heavy metal living redneck.
All right. All right. Well, tell us about it. Tell us what you. I don't want any spoilers. Where did you get the idea for it?
Well, I created the character with my good buddy Keith when we were teenagers, and it's just something that I've been developing for years and years. And I made a graphic novel that tells Aldrake's origin. It's called Aldrake versus Krona's Knots. And that's available. It's 200-page graphic novel that you can get for just $10. I made that, I guess it was about 4 years ago. It had a pretty good reception in the local area where I'm at. You can also read it on the website for free. I've got all my content on there for free. But I recently this year started a new story that takes up where the book leaves off, and it's in color. The comic is in black and white. The printed comic. So Aldrake has a new villain, High Priestess Funeral. She's very evil. And she's going to mess him up, dude. Like, I'm worried about him, really. I don't know what's going to happen.
Plus, you got to worry about the characters, otherwise you don't really get into them.
Yeah, it's true. And also, I have something really cool that what I really wanted to come on here and talk about today is I'm making a trading card game.
I saw it.
It includes characters from like everybody that we like. Got Jack Irons is going to be there. I got Tim Liam's characters. I'm going to have USAGI. I'm going to have Walmart. I'm going to have Regina from Rags. I've got a lot of people that are involved in it, and people are getting really stoked. It's a really fun game too. It's another thing. I actually invented it a long time ago, but it was just something that I would play with my friends and we would mess around. But I just saw the opportunity to bring it to a wider audience, and we always liked it. So I thought that I could see if I could bring it to everybody in the community.
That's cool. So you've already got a lot of the gameplay worked out.
Yeah, the gameplay is really simple. It's not like a super competitive game like Magic or something. It's more along the lines of Munchkin or even like apples to apples. You know, you play that, and really the goal is everybody just has a good time.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So you get 5 hero cards, and there's a power that's like their regular attack, and they also have a special. So when it's your turn, you can choose to use their power or their special. When your turn ends, they're event cards, and they do all these different silly things that it makes the game really chaotic, and it can be good or bad. So before you draw an event card, you decide which hero card it happens to. So you can even do it to the opponent. It's a gamble. Like if you feel like it's going to be bad, make your enemy draw it instead of you. And you can also play 3 or 4 players if you use 3 heroes instead of 5.
That's cool. So did you get everybody's permission already, or are you just kind of as you go?
Yeah, I've worked it out with everybody right now that I would talk about publicly. There's still some people that I'm talking to behind the scenes about getting their characters that I haven't worked everything out with. So hopefully I'll be able to announce some cool stuff soon, some more characters that I got. Also, I don't know if I said I have Jack Irons, I have Sugar Lightspeed.
Yeah, we got him in the chat right now.
Oh, hell yeah, what up, Jack?
That's cool, though.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I've spent a lot of time developing it. And we're going to do some live streams where we play test the new cards with all the characters everybody likes. So it should be a good time for everybody.
That's cool as hell. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope everybody has fun. That's the real goal here.
All right. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Wenger, and he's got some comics going on. He's got this cool card game. It's gonna have a lot. I guess a lot of the comics. I have a hard time because some people like to be associated with Comicsgate, but it's a lot of the new kind of indie guys that are big right now and doing their crowd.
I would say call myself Comicsgate, but I know the Rags team, they don't really associate with that. So I just say like the comics community on Twitter.
Yeah, a little comics team.
Yeah, we have a nice little indie community. Everybody has a good time. We're all friends. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But
so you're working on anything else other than your comic?
well, I'll release pages of Aldrake for free as I make them. There hasn't been one in a couple of weeks because I've been putting this game together.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start the crowdfunding for the game really soon, but I'm always working on Aldrake. So as soon as the page is done, and I do everything, I do the line art by hand, old school style, and then I color it and edit it, and later on the computer, and then I put it right online for free for everybody to enjoy.
And it's just, do you have you just have your own website?
Yeah, I have a website through Blogger. It's only $5 a month. I thought it was pretty easy to put comic pages on there. It's through Google, is how I got my domain. And I was super stoked at my domain because it's just alldrake.com. I used to do a comic that was like a team book, and Aldrake is in that comic too.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called it was Whack on Yosa. I think that name's too complicated, so going forward, I'm probably not going to use it anymore. But the website I had was whackonyosacomic.com, and I would go to conventions, and people were never going to remember that. It was a complete disaster. Like, I don't know what I was ever thinking with such a long URL. So I was really happy that my URL now is only like 6 letters.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to find.
Just tell them, yeah, it's Aldrake. Okay, it's actually 7 letters, but anyway,
Yeah,
it makes it
it's
a lot.
It's like when people were confused about Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Just such a long name.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good to have a super long name. I learned that. And also a confusing name because I have a lot of Japanese influence in my art. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought a Japanese name like that would bring people in that are into anime or whatever, but it was just people found it really confusing.
Yeah. I was looking. I got a tweet today. Uh, you did a piece for the artist that I'm working with for Z Zombie, Paul Dozier.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Jason thing.
He has an unhealthy obsession with Friday the 13th.
he
Every time he gets with an artist, he always gets him to do a Jason painting.
yeah, he told me that. He hit me up on Fiverr. So I do this thing where the quote unquote reboot stuff in the Cal Art style.
Oh, okay,
It's
yeah.
it's just a silly joke. So on Fiverr you can pay me $5 and I'll reboot any picture in Cal Arts. And which basically, I make it look really crappy. He was that pleased with the one that I did. He actually tipped me, he paid me double what I was asking for.
That's cool. Hey, Avid's here. All right.
Oh, that's Live Avid, great dude.
Hey, make sure, Avid, thanks for showing up. Make sure we get everybody's Twitter out there, right?
Glad to see you.
Yeah. Well, probably everybody in the chat already follows each other, so
Well,
probably not that necessary at the moment.
you never know who might be watching.
Yeah.
Which I should probably get the chat it just so I can see it.
Yeah. I did tweet out the link, so.
Yeah, I got that RT, bro. I got that RT.
Oh man. So let's see. Hey, there's comic, everybody.
It's Jack Irons.
Anybody have any questions? Well,
Howdy, Wenger.
because otherwise we're gonna start talking about Bigfoot.
Yeah, yeah. We already discussed that when we ran out of comic stuff to talk about. It's Bigfoot.
So what are you collecting right now?
Oh, I've been reading a lot of Alterna.
Yeah, Alterna's good stuff.
Just got way into them. Peter Samedi's been super cool to me online. That's where I actually found out about it, just from him following me on Twitter. I talked to him. I think he's got a lot of great ideas to help the comic industry. One of the biggest problems with comics is that they're just too expensive. And he solved that problem easily with what he does with the newsprint. It's like I don't feel bad at all for paying $1.50 for a comic.
Oh yeah, even if like it turns out later that maybe it wasn't your favorite thing, at least it's like, you know what, this is good. And the thing with the that he's talking about with the piggybacking is especially if you're a beginning artist, a lot of people aren't going to take the risk of $5 on somebody they never heard of and somebody who's new, but they're more likely to take a risk on, oh, $1.50, I'll check it out, or $1.
Yeah, I would like to see Alterna get out a lot more places. I think that people, one of the big things about it is like you're saying, for impulse buys, if you saw the cover and thought, hey, that looks kind of neat, $1.50 is a lot easier to put in there than like $4.
Yeah, exactly.
$4 is hard to justify on something when you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. We got a couple questions for you. Comic Gal wants to know what inspired Aldrake in his design.
Well, Aldrake is based on well, you can tell by my accent, I'm a Southern guy.
I would have thought New York.
There's a thing in our high schools, in the South. There's always this guy, and I was kind of like this, but there's always this guy that only wants to listen to Metallica, and he thinks everything else is gay.
Yeah,
And
that's everywhere.
I thought that that would make a funny superhero. So that's really pretty much the concept when it comes to how his personality is.
All right. And Cody wants to know what we think about books coming out in the community. I assume it's the crowdfunding stuff. Any favorites and any reason why? Have you backed anything?
I've backed, of course, the big ones that we all have. I've got Jawbreakers and Cyber Frog. I really need to back some of my friends. I've been a terrible friend that not doing that. The only person that I guess I really know that I've backed is Tim Lim.
Okay.
So I got on the Trump Space Force.
Let's see. I backed a couple of them. I decided I was going to try to do at least one a month. And I backed. I started in April. I backed one called the Espresso Detective, which sorry, it wasn't that good.
It
And but I
sounds
backed another
funny.
one called it was a like a steampunk thing where it takes place in Boston. I can't for the life of me. I don't have it in front of me. I can't remember what it's called, but that one was actually really good. And let's see. And then I backed Jawbreakers. I backed Cyber Frog. I also backed Ravage because they had a $7 tier for that. So I'm like, yeah, I can. I think I could justify that, even though they charge extra for shipping and all that.
Oh yeah, Cody's in there talking about. I do have a copy of One Pool. That counts.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't. I've been meaning to get that one. I just haven't yet. And I keep forgetting about that one. Well, I don't. I mean, it looks good, and I want to get it. It just keeps slipping my mind on that one. I did back Jack Irons though. Actually, I didn't back Jack Irons because kind of my standard is I want a physical copy. So as much as I like Jack Irons and I retweeted him, at first I wasn't going to, but then when I heard they had physical copies, I was on board. I dropped my money for it. And then I got I'm into Metal Shark Bro right now. I'm kind of pushing hard on that one because it just looks crazy insane.
I've seen that going around, and I was thinking about checking it out. I haven't seen it like really looked into it that much.
It looks to me like the same kind of vibe as like Tank Girl. It has a similar kind of art style and it has that kind of crazy, insane kind of vibe. So it looked like a lot of fun. So I picked that one.
Heck yeah, it is. I like the art. How was the art on that steampunk book?
That was pretty good. It was, man.
That's
I'm gonna have to.
that's the real draw with steampunk. A lot of times is just to have like really crazy art.
Hold on, I think I might actually have it in front of me here somewhere.
I think you can screen share us at some of that.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could remember it. Yeah, I don't have it right in front of me, but it was a good book, and I recommend it. But I just don't, and I guess it was one in a series too.
I can show you guys Aldrake versus Krona's Knots.
Sweet.
See, there he is. He's trying to get laid with the Queen of the Gods, and she's just like, this is inappropriate. So he gets depressed and he has to go to a mental hospital. That's how the first chapter ends. So he tries to kill himself by climbing into this dragon's mouth. You can see I have like a silly fan art style. It's a lot better now than it was when I drew this. This was a long time ago. But people like it. There's a cool airship that I made. He's the bad guy. This is the main bad guy. He's cutting the airship in half with this big sword.
I think I remembered the name. I think it's the Boston Metaphysical Society. It was the name of that steampunk comic.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, it was. It has a bunch of different like historical figures. It's like an alternate. Obviously, steampunk. It's alternate history. It's got like Nikola Tesla. I guess in the series. And this book is Nikola Tesla. I can't remember the name of the main guy. I'm terrible with names. And a few other people, and it's pretty cool. Thomas Edison, I guess, is in the series, and a few other kind of people.
Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison are on the same superhero team.
Well, it's not really a superhero team. They do like the science kind of thing where everything's steampunk, and they come up with these crazy like sci-fi, like crazy sci-fi, answers to problems.
We know that they didn't get along too well.
Well, yeah, they in this comic it didn't have Edison in it, but I guess as part of the series there was some big bad guy event that happened, and Tesla tried to solve it and ended up making it worse. So he's not the bad guy, but the two main guys, Tesla and whoever the other guys, they didn't really get along. Tesla was actually wanted by the police and everything, and this other guy kind of hid him away and didn't really like him and was going to turn him over, but then decided at some point that he needed him to stop the new thing, the new big bad that was going on. So it's not really a team. It's more like, well, they kind of come in as they need them, whatever character they need.
Does it have a feel like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, kind of?
Like I said, this one only had like two guys that were historical, so it's not. I guess it has a similar feel to the. I mean, it's a similar kind of style, but it's not like a big, huge team of like 5 or 6. It's 1 or 2 guys, and then a couple of supporting characters.
There's a game on 3DS called Project Steam that is kind of like that. I'm a big time handheld gamer. I like handheld games.
Yeah, I've never been a big steampunk. I like the look of steampunk, but the subjects never really interest me. But
well, the look is what it's all about, anyway.
Yeah,
that's why I was asking what the art is like on that book, because that's really like the main draw is just how crazy it looks.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find something. I'll post it up on my Twitter. It was, like I said, it's actually it was a pretty good book. I liked it. I would probably buy more. There's other ones that come out that look really good that are kind of historical fiction. There's one, it's like Dr. Crow, and I don't know if he's a historical person, but the other guy that the same person is the Elephant Man, and he's like a detective or something.
Dope.
The actual it looked really good, and at the time I just it was on, and I was like, well, I already did my monthly, so I couldn't check that one out, but it looked really good. And I think that one was steampunk as well.
I like retro futurism, but they always go with the Victorian era. Well, I would like to see more is like the crazy 1950s sci-fi where everybody wears the same outfit and everything's like all shiny and white.
What was that? What was that from?
Like the 1950s sci-fi where it
like how they think everything was supposed to look in the future.
Yeah, and it was super optimistic. Like everything was going to be awesome in the future, like in 1980 something.
Yeah. Flying cars, and everybody was drinking, or everybody was eating pill food and that kind of stuff.
Avid's wanting people to shift into turbo. Are you ready to be turbo?
Yeah, tell me about this turbo thing.
I get, DMI, I guess.
Do I know what now?
DMI.
EMI?
DMI on.
Okay, yeah, DMI, yeah.
He just started this like really dumb meme that he got us all to put turbo in our name. That's really all it is. So it just is pretty much to annoy people, like most memes.
Yeah, it's funny because I started seeing it. I'm like, oh man, I must have missed the in on that joke.
That's why Berserker got on your tweet and was telling you that if you have to ask, you're not turbo. But now, if you want to shift into turbo, I think that you're ready.
I think I might be ready for that.
You have to shift up into turbo with your gears.
All right. Oh, we got Finn. We got Finn in the chat now.
What up, G?
All right. Yeah, we're up to.
People were saying hi, Slick, but I never saw him.
Well, maybe he popped in. He popped out.
Yeah. But if you're there, I can say hi, Slick.
So what else have you been? Are you just Alterna? Because I know I bought. Was it one time I bought all 4 of Lilith Dark?
Oh
And
yeah, that's a good one.
It looked like a lot of fun, and even like we got it. My wife picked it up and read them all before I did, and she was like, "Wow, these are cool."
Well, you know, I was really into the Gambit and Rogue mini, and my wife even liked it, and she's a total normie. So whenever they announced that Kelly Thompson was going to be coming back and doing that Mr. and Mrs. X thing, I got really excited. But she's been like really bad on social media lately. It made me not want to give her any money.
Who's that?
Kelly Thompson, the woman that was writing the Gambit and Rogue. Now she's on Mr. and Mrs. X, which is like a continuation of that.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't really. The only Marvel book. I mean, I kind of see the stuff that people talk about, but the only Marvel books I'm really following right now, I have Cable and Venom. I think those are the only 2 that I'm on right now.
Yeah,
DC,
I get those.
And well, they just finished the Brave and the Bold. I was on that one too.
Are they going to end Cable? I heard a rumor that it was going to end.
I heard the same thing. I have no idea. I'm probably behind by a couple of issues. I don't know if it's winding down or not.
Well, I have it in my pool and I've been picking it up, but I haven't read it in a few months, so I need to get caught up on it.
Yeah, that's most of my comics. I have like a few piles of comics that I'm way behind on. I was like 10 issues behind on Batman, and then I just like, yeah, I'm not really keeping up with it, so I just dropped it.
I heard they were writing him really low T anyway.
Yeah, I was okay with they did the date night one. That was actually kind of funny. And, they had a couple of ones after that were pretty cool, but then that was like, yeah, it's not all that interesting anymore.
Well, I can tell the people listening right now, if you want a hero that is high T all the time, Dragoon not all Drake. Very high T, high energy. Super high T.
Everybody needs to check it out. Why don't you go out the website again?
It's aldrake.com, ALDRAKE.com. And right now, the page that's up is pretty funny. You can see how that what his motivation is.
Mm-hmm.
He's fueled by titties. so fueled by titties, like his boner compels him.
All right. Let's see. Any other questions from the group?
We got 5 people watching now. That's like all the people that aren't watching Ethan's show.
And they're just here to be polite.
we got all of the available audience.
We need to hold them somehow. You're not allowed to go to those other ones.
Yeah. If you go over to Comic Artist Pro Secrets, he's just going to be sparking about Star Wars. He's going to be sparking about getting trolled in his chat. You've seen that. You've seen it.
You know what? I have this theory, and it seems pretty likely, that whenever they put his name they'll put his name in their little articles. Now, obviously, he gets a kick out of it. I know he really likes it, even though he complains about it. But I think probably he's got something worked out with them. He's called them. He's been emailing them or Twitters them. He's like, "Hey, man, go ahead, put my name in the article, and I'll make sure I read it on air." And that helps everybody.
So what he's doing is like kayfabe.
Yeah, he's basically circling the whole thing. It's all coming around full circle.
Like the old time wrestlers when they would have to act like they hated each other for the story.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fake rivalry. It's all fake, guys.
Everything's fake, man. Like your eyes aren't even real, man. Just like, what's the point, man? I'm going to be a nihilist, man. It's whatever. Being there, doing there, be here with all Drake, says Jack Irons. The high tea, heavy metal hero from the darkness itself.
Alrighty.
So, is your avatar Indiana Jones?
I've, what's her name? Dark Philly posted. It was like a cover to like a men's magazine from the 50s, I think. And I was like, it's so cool. I'm taking that as my avatar.
I always wanted to ask you what that was. Avid says that Cody can come in here if you want.
Yeah,
I'd like to have another person.
Yeah, I sent him the link. I don't want to make it like 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, like 3 more, you know, no more than maybe 3 more people if people want to stop by.
That's fine with me. It helps me to keep going to have a few more.
Yeah.
Because we've had a little bit of dead air. I don't think it's been terrible, but you don't want that ever. You want to avoid that all the time.
Yeah. So Avid, I sent you the link. Hopefully that was the right link. And yeah, you can send it to a few more people if you like. Just try to keep it to not too many. Everybody starts talking over each other and
yeah. Well, if we get everybody in here, that'll be all our viewers, and then we'll just be having a circle jerk.
I remember I was watching a Nerds video one time, and like they were all lined up at the bottom, and there were more people like on the chat. There were more people online than there were in the chat. I mean, that's cool having a bunch of people on, but then it's like everybody talks over each other, and you know, a few people is good, but to me, like a dozen people running around.
Well, some people are more timid than others, and what really ends up happening is you'll have only like 3 people actually talking, and everybody else is just there being awkward.
Yeah.
When they try to want to say something, that's when they're talking over each other, and it gets really weird.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody, you know. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Everybody's talking over each other. You get a couple of guys that are constantly talking, which is fine. But then it's like, why have everybody if only a couple of guys are talking? And you just get a bunch of extra avatars taking up the screen.
But it looks good.
Yeah.
It's all about the appearance.
Yeah. Well, if I'm gonna build an audience, I want to try something, do a different kind of stuff.
Well, it definitely helps to do these shows and have a bunch of people on at different times.
Hey, Cody's here. Hey, Cody.
Hey.
What's up, dude?
Outstanding.
Not too much. Just hanging in chat. Thought I'd join you. How you doing?
Doing good. Glad you're here, man. We were hoping you would come in.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not doing anything at the moment. I gotta get off at some point here pretty soon, but I can hang for a half hour or something. Any topics that anybody wants to talk about? I don't have anything in particular, but I'm sure there's something on somebody's mind.
What's your opinion of Sasquatch?
Legit Sasquatch or like
yeah,
Alpha
legit?
Flight
Like tell us.
I didn't realize. I just realized that we could hear it over my computer, and that even though I have my headset on.
Nice. But okay, opinion on Sasquatch, legit Sasquatch. So I grew up with my dad talking about stories that he has seen a Sasquatch, and I tend to believe my father. I have not seen a Sasquatch, but I also like my tall tales. and I like to believe those tall tales can sometimes be true. So,
Have you
old-fashioned dreamer.
have you ever seen anything that you thought you couldn't really explain by normal means?
I wouldn't limit it to Saw. I have experienced things like that. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm a I tend to dive into that kind of stuff, and I talk about it sometimes in private DMs and stuff. But I've been there, and I enjoy that stuff.
Do you have a story that you would like to share?
Oh, let me see. Let me see.
I can tell you guys a crazy story.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'll
if
get
you want to
I'll,
break the ice, dude,
yeah,
go
I'll
for it.
I'll break the ice. And you can believe me or not, I can swear to you to God that this really happened to me. But I was I was going, me and my buddies when we were younger, like sometimes we would just get bored. I'm sure everybody does this, and you just go to Walmart at night because there's nowhere else to go. So we're going to Walmart, and it's me and two of my best friends, Robbie and Josh. We're driving down the road, and on the other side of the road, there's this crazy monster just standing there, and it watches us drive by. And whenever I decided I was just going to pretend like that I didn't see it and keep going. So I was like, "There's no way that that's there." And Robbie turns to me and he goes, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "There's no way that you saw what I saw." And then he describes it. It was seriously like this weird undead looking deer thing just standing there, and
Uh
it with
huh.
rotted flesh and all this. And I found
Uh
out
huh.
way later that what that's called is a skinwalker, because I saw pictures of, there's this Native American myth of this creature, a skinwalker, and it looked just
Okay.
like it when I looked at the
I know
pictures.
this. I know this. I grew up in that lore. I love that lore.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Skinwalker. It has a bunch of variations among different tribes, but primarily it is a foul spirit or demon that can shapeshift, and it tends to consume living beings. That's usually the main consistency.
yeah, I had no idea what the thing was, but then this chick showed me a picture of skinwalkers. Like her friends were making fun of her for just for believing in them, and she was like, "Look at this," and she showed me the picture, and it looked just like what I saw.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I never knew anything about that until a couple of years ago.
Did you ever hear that radio show Coast to Coast AM?
I live coast to coast.
They had a. Have you heard their whole bit about the Skinwalker Ranch?
I've seen a lot of stuff about that. My wife watches ghost shows all the time, and they go there sometimes. But I've never heard it on Coast to Coast.
The Skinwalker Ranch, it's one of their best ones because it's got like every possible conspiracy theory. It has dire wolves, it's got Sasquatch, it's got aliens, it's got portals to other dimensions. It's there's all kinds of craziness that went on the ranch. Basically, what happened was these people bought this ranch, and one day, like they had just moved in, and they had all these like really valuable cattle. And as they were picking up, they were doing something, and they see this dog come walking up, and they're like, "Wow, that's a big dog." And they're like, "That's a wolf, big giant, not like giant, like building size giant, but big wolf come up." And it wasn't afraid of them. It didn't like.
Are you there?
Yeah, I lost him too.
You just cut out.
Uh-oh. Mic issues, folks. Mic
Yeah.
issues.
Are you ready to tell your story, Cody?
Well, I didn't pick one yet. Let me see.
What, babe? I
Uh,
muted my mic.
I want to hear it. Unplug the thing so I can hear it.
Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. I'm thinking.
Can
Oh,
you hear us, Dave? Have you come back?
Comic Gal says he knows too much.
Yeah, I think the freaking CIA just shut him down.
We were just talking coast to coast. It's skinwalkers. You must be
Dude.
silenced, she says.
The show I saw about Skinwalker Ranch had me cracking up because there was this fat, like, redneck guy on there, and he was saying that he killed 2 alien greys with a samurai sword.
That's a great story. just like tell. Hey, you know what I've done?
Yeah,
I've slayed 2 greys with a katana.
I mean, if that really happened, he would be like the biggest badass ever.
Right? That snuck up on 2 of them, chopped them in half.
Oh man, Indy
Uh-oh.
Dave just dropped out completely.
Uh-oh, I don't even know. Are we even live anymore?
I don't know. We're running his own show.
Let me see.
Do
No,
you
yeah, we're
have
live.
Do you have any smack talk you want to say about him while he's not here?
I don't know him well enough. And that's also on me. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
him.
I don't want to keep jacking his channel here, but should we either hold the fort or should we bow out gracefully?
Well, I'd say probably we can wait and see if he gets back in about 5 minutes, and it probably wouldn't be cool to keep running his show.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. All right.
There's Comment Gal is here.
right. Okay. So now it's just we're bringing people into his house now. So that's just what's happening.
Come on in.
We're gonna party while he's away.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Okay. Really though, I'm here to keep you boys from being too awkward and quiet. So my job is to be the slayer of dead air.
You can also be the cause of some bumbling and fumbling.
I will strangle the dead air until it is even deader air.
Do you have a ghost story to tell?
Do I have a ghost story? Not really. Oh wow. Oh, why do I hear myself?
Does that sound too bad? I unplugged my mic so that my wife could hear it, but is it echoing really bad?
Yeah, the echo is pretty bad.
There's 2 of me, and like the world can barely take one, so
it's true. It's hard to handle.
All right. I was trying to go through my computer.
All right, so I don't really have a ghost story, but I do have 2 things. The first being that apparently, okay, now this is from my big sister, and she's always been like really heavily into ghost stories. I don't even know if she likes to make up stories too. I mean, she's a writer, so for all I know, she lied to like a ton of kids, but. Basically, the church we used to live across the street from that my parents used to work in, really big old building, beautiful stained glass. The attic room was returned into a whatchamacallit? A teen room and all the kinds of stuff. It was actually a pretty cool place. But my older sister said that one of the reasons why it closed was because there was some sort of scandal that went on, and she claimed that she had found this newspaper because basically when we went to the building, it had closed very suddenly. So like and it had closed right before Christmas. So like all these presents that they were going to give to each other and give to the kids and stuff were all still there, and there were still Christmas decorations up and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I found this fluffy pair of Minnie Mouse headphones, and I was like, yeah, this is mine now.
Nice.
It's probably supposed to belong to some other little girl, but like it was fluffy, it was pink, it had Minnie Mouse, and my ears were cold, so it was mine.
All right, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I've got an update for us. Indie Dave Comics. My router crashed. Not sure what's wrong yet. Could be the cable company. So we can hold it for a couple more. I'm going to ask him what he wants us to do, but just filling you in.
We might be able to hold it while he gets it fixed. And if he can't get it fixed, then we'll just leave because it's rude to stay on his thing otherwise. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But if there's a chance that he might get it on, then we can stay on for a few more and try to hold the fort. But basically, my older sister found this newspaper report dated around like December of the year the church closed that was still like on the floor of the church, and it said something along the lines of some man when he and his wife were going to get a divorce, and he apparently responded by murdering his daughter and getting rid of her remains on church premises.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that's a good one.